Sorry, your iPhone 17 is broken, my sister said right after I refused to lend her $10,000. My mom just sighed. It was just an accident. I didn't argue. That night, I made a few quiet moves, a few calls, a few password changes, and I waited for dawn. For the moment she woke up, she didn't drop it. I watched her do it. She set it face down on the tile, pressed the heel of her hand against the back, and pushed, deliberate, slow. Then she looked me directly in the eye while the screen cracked underneath her palm. She didn't flinch. She just watched me to see what I would do. I didn't give her anything to read. The $10,000 was for a car. She'd totaled hers 3 weeks earlier. No insurance, no savings, no plan, and decided the obvious solution was me. She called it a loan. She said she'd pay me back in installments. She'd said that before about smaller amounts, and the money never came. So I said no. No argument, no long explanation, just no. She picked up my phone off the counter 30 seconds later. My mom stepped in before I could speak. She didn't mean it, she said, in that soft, practiced tone she's used my entire life to make me feel like my reaction is always the problem. It was an accident. Don't make this bigger than it is. She hadn't seen what happened. She didn't ask. She just started smoothing it over the way she always does, on my sister's behalf, at my expense. I said okay. I picked up the phone. I went to my room. What my sister didn't know was how much she actually had access to. She'd been on my family plan for 3 years. My Netflix, my Hulu, my Apple storage, my Spotify. I'd added her when she moved into her first apartment because she said she was getting back on her feet and it would only be temporary. Temporary lasted 36 months. I paid her phone bill 11 separate times. I co-signed her lease 2 years ago when her credit score came back too low to qualify a loan. I vouched for her income, put my name on the paperwork, and assumed she was handling the rest. I assumed a lot of things I shouldn't have. That night, I sat down at my kitchen table and opened my laptop and went through everything. Removed her from the Apple family plan, took her off every shared subscription, called the carrier, and had her line removed from my account entirely. She'd have no service by morning, changed every streaming password, removed her as an emergency contact at my job, which I didn't even know she'd been listed as until I checked. Then I found the thing I wasn't expecting. She had added herself as an authorized user on one of my credit cards, not a card I'd given her access to. 18 months ago, she had called the bank, verified enough of my information to be added to the account, and started using it. Small charges at first, gas stations, groceries, things that looked routine enough to slide past. Then bigger ones, a hotel stay, furniture, an airline booking. 18 months, $4,200. I called the bank just before midnight. I used the word fraud because that's what it was. They flagged the account, opened a report, reversed the charges pending investigation, and overnighted me a new card. I didn't sleep much after that. I sat in the kitchen with the light on and thought about what it means to trust someone so completely that you stop checking. I thought about every time I'd told myself she was just struggling, just going through a hard stretch, just needed more time. I thought about how long I'd been substituting those explanations for the truth. In the morning, her phone was a brick. No service, no apps, no access to a single account she'd been living inside for years. She drove to my mom's house and used her phone to call me. I didn't pick up. She called 4 more times. Then my mom called. What did you do? Her voice was tight, controlled, the kind of tone that used to make me feel like I'd done something wrong before I'd even spoken. I told her I'd handled my accounts. She has no phone service. She can't reach anyone. I said her phone service had been on my plan and it wasn't anymore. There was a long pause. You need to fix this. She's your sister. I've heard that sentence my entire life. It's been used to justify things that had nothing to do with sisterhood and everything to do with convenience. I used to let it work. I used to feel it land somewhere soft and shift my position just enough. This time I said, I know exactly who she is, and I hung up. The fraud investigation closed 11 days later. The bank sided with me on every charge. My sister hasn't spoken to me since. My mom calls once a week to tell me I've gone too far. What I keep coming back to isn't the money. It's that moment at the tile counter. Her hand pressing down, her eyes on mine while it cracked. She'd done things like that my entire life, and I'd always found a way to absorb the cost and keep going. She just didn't know I'd already decided I was done.